And when you're using the reMarkable, you don't have the option to use it in a different way. So you aren't considering it as a device that can do loads. You're just considering it as a place you note stuff down, and you're not flicking between different apps. The fact that when you pick up the books, which is a very similarly designed thing really, but has those Android features, you're constantly thinking, well, what other app can I use? How else can I use this? You're constantly shifting backwards and forwards between different apps that work more or less well. So it's kind of like, do you prefer a hedgehog? Something that does one thing and does it well. And it does do that well. Or do you prefer a jack of all trades, but is probably a master of none? It's very difficult to decide between these two tablets. It's almost as difficult as comparing the reMarkable 2 with the iPad, but we always seem to be coming back to doing that comparison as to which one you want in your bag and which one you want to spend all that money on. I read so many comments now that actually say they've tried the reMarkable and they've ended up going with something else. It's hard to ignore, but is it really the worst? Or is actually these subjective design choices they've made, does it actually make it the best? It's really difficult to decide between these tablets, and they're really expensive devices as well. But I think they definitely have a place in your professional life. You tell me, do we get it wrong when we review these e-ink tablets? Is reMarkable 2 really the worst? Leave a comment below to let me know what you think, because I'd love to hear your opinion and carry on the conversation. So as I say, I'm really interested by this idea that this tablet, although objectively nowhere near as good as the competition, is still so compelling for so many people. And well, let's dive into 7 of those things that make it such an excellent experience. Here's 7 great things about the reMarkable. The style. Yep, this looks fabulous. And they're really selling a dream. Their marketing is really focused around how you look when you use this, how it looks on your desk. It is a compelling story that they're telling. Number 2 is similar to that, it's how thin it is. They are still marketing this as the world's thinnest tablet. I think it's sub 5mm thin. And that is a really nice thing to use. It is getting towards a really thin notepad. Well, it's thinner than a lot of notepads, to be quite honest. Put it in a case, of course, and it is thicker than that. But you're still using something which feels really elegantly designed and is thin in the hand. It's quite aspirational really how thin it is. For that thinness you do lose certain things. If they had chosen to add something like a front light, then it would have added about 0.8 of a millimeter and it wouldn't have been so thin. So there is a trade-off with how thin it is, but it is a great thing about the reMarkable. It's a few years old now, but it is still amazing how nice a design this is, and it's been copied for good reason. The pen tools. It does have the best array of pen tools in the whole of the e-ink tablet world. I really like the ballpoint pen and I really like the mechanical pencil. Those are the 2 that I use the most for making notes. However, it also has the pencil tool, which is the best for drawing. There is such a good range here. They added early on in reMarkable 2 times a calligraphy pen for those who prefer that as an option. It's great for making your notes look good and it's great for drawing as well. So number 4 is the handwriting recognition, which is actually really quite reliable. So if I go export, convert notes to text, I didn't write this purposefully to do that, but let's have a little look. Same great things, the style, how thin it is, the pen tools, the reliable handwriting recognition, the flow, the updates, how good it is, and then a little smiley as well. So actually it managed all of that perfectly well. And it adds it now in as a new page in the same document. I don't think that's quite the best integration of handwriting recognition, I'll be quite honest. The nice thing is that now that handwritten text is available on the web app, it's available on the desktop app or on the phone app as well. So actually they're starting to get a really nice integration between handwritten notes and actual typed text. And you can obviously edit that with the keyboard on your computer, you can edit it on here if they do get anything wrong. Generally it's quite reliable as well. I do think they need to go a little bit further here and allow people to use tables, maybe headings, etc. And I think they could have a sort of word integration or a desktop publisher like integration that you can actually manage on here and manage between that and your main device so that you're making documents that are ready to be shared more readily.